There are no such things as limits or obstacles, only opportunities. Step into the greatest version of yourself because what you do matters. Shift your narrative. You're listening to Opportunity Makers, where entrepreneurs come to take their purpose-driven business to the next level. Here's your host, Jim Padilla.
Hey, rock stars. So good to see you. So awesome to be able to be back and share some more time with you. And I hope you're taking advantage of all of the amazing opportunities there are to help as many people as you can in your world every single day. Jim Padilla here, and happy to be your guide on this journey to opportunity creation. And if you're listening to these episodes at all, the word opportunity sure seems to come up an awful lot. And that's just really the lens that I see things through, see the world through. Everything that goes on is opportunities for people to take advantage of, to be able to serve and engage and support other people's success while on the path to your own. And one thing that opportunity makers, if you're an opportunity maker, which you are, it's not just about the business that you're running. It's about the causes you support. It's about the causes you create. It's about the ways that we give back, the ways that we serve, the differences we make for people that, quite honestly, most of the time just don't have any other opportunities for themselves. There's people who pursue us because we're leaders and we're servants, and we can sell. We have the products for what they need. And then there's other people that are just not in a position to be thinking about buying anything. They're just simply trying to get through their life and get from one station to the next. And because of all the benefits and the blessings that we've been able to create, we continually give out of our surplus. And then there's people who just create an opportunity to purely give as the heartbeat of your business or venture. And, as we have our opportunity cities that we are pulling together to put call centers and sales support and entrepreneurial engagement for ex-cons and aged out foster teens. Being able to give them purpose and impact and revenue and means to be able to stay off the streets and stay out of trouble. And our mission is to literally obliterate recidivism so that people aren't going back in through the revolving door of our prison systems. And we want to give them someplace else to go, because too many times we try to tell people what not to do, and that doesn't ever work. When's the last time you tried to not do something? What you need to have is a clear, definitive path and a place to go, something to do, so that it's easier to do something than it is to not do something. So we need to give them good environments, good support, good guidance, good next steps, so they know what is happening, and give them a clear meaning and a clear reason to be. And Corbin Cowan, who is interviewed today, he's a powerful, successful entrepreneur in a mastermind environment that I'm a part of. And I've watched this guy be a part of some great conversations in the investing world and tech world, and just a smart, quality business owner who really understands what it means to be able to deliver great outcomes for people. And when he shared this message at one of our mastermind retreats, I was just, immediately God was just grabbing my heart and pulling me in, because we are serving the same people. We are all in for the throwaway society, people that just kind of cast a glance, but don't really want to go out of the way to help these people. And when you're dealing with aged out foster teens, as you're going to hear Corbin talk about, they're not cute, cuddly little kids. Nobody wants to adopt them. Nobody wants to support them. Everybody wants the little cute, cuddly kids and little cute, furry dogs and all. Nobody wants to do the things for a troublesome teen or somebody who's been experiencing a lot of hardship. And now that's a lot to take on, right? So we want to make sure that they're getting the kind of support that people like you and me can give. And so I want you to hear the story, because this is not just about the opportunity for you to contribute and give and serve, but I want you to be inspired by the ideas, by what's happening here, by this conversation, by what you see. And I want you to just take it all in and be able to look around and say, how can this impact me? How can this affect me? Who can I reach out to? How can I create my own opportunity to be able to give back and serve and make a difference like that? So be inspired, be challenged, be ignited, be convicted. But lean in, be interested to what's going on so that you can make a difference, right? And be a true opportunity maker like Corbin Cowan. Enjoy the interview. We'll see you on the next one. So we just did the formal interview. Corbin, why don't you just tell everybody in your own words, who's Corbin and, why are you relevant in this conversation?
Well, my name is Corbin Cowan. I've been around the entrepreneurial world. Most of my career started out, in financial planning and then kind of ventured into, creating investment opportunities for clients and most recently have kind of turned my skill set and efforts towards, solving a problem in the world of kids that are turning 18 and aging out of the foster system with no support. And so I've created a foundation for that, but I've also created a for-profit enterprise, pulling in my other passion, which is golf, and connecting passionate competitive golfers throughout the country to not only a very unique opportunity to compete alongside of celebrities and professional athletes and things like that, but connecting them to this cause and allowing them to get behind some of these young adults that are coming out of the system and so using the networks that you and I have been around for years to try to better the lives of some of these young adults.
Yeah. And, when I heard you talking about it at our, the last event at our mastermind, it just really struck my heart because that was me. I was foster care teenager, and then I was on the streets in gangs, and then I was in jail by 19. And so, I've had a life of overcoming. And so, being in prison ministry and, we're with our Opportunity City project, we're focusing on helping ex-cons and aged out foster teens, but what we've kind of termed as the throwaway society, because that's literally what society does with them. They just kind of go, someday we'll have a use for them, but we can't find anything for you now. So, with this project you have, what kind of opportunities is that creating for golfers, for entrepreneurs, and for these teens?
Well, the golf community is one of the most philanthropic and heart-centered communities around. There was an article and some publication about how much the golf community gives back, and so every time you turn around, there's a charity golf tournament of some kind, but typically they're these scramble formats. They're not very competitive. Competitive golfers don't really enjoy charity golf that much. And now, with the creation of this concept of name, image, and likeness, that now allows for amateur golfers to create business contracts with companies. It's kind of changed the game a little bit. And so I came up with this concept to create this community of golfers that really want to compete, and not just super good golfers, right? But I mean, golfers of all skill levels, but even golfers, that carry a 10 or 12 or 15 handicap still love the competition side of things, right?
Right.
And so we're kind of changing the game a little bit and making the foundation, the kind of the benefactor of all of these golf events. The former professional athletes still love to compete as well, right? And so we're creating these kind of one of a kind, not one of a kind, but just world-class experiences to go and not just play on the same golf course and hang around with a celebrity, but to actually compete head to head with them in a format that allows for handicaps and all that kind of thing. So and ultimately, my goal is to hook the golfers in with the competitive, professional athlete angle, but then really kind of expose them to this problem of the kids that are aging out of the foster system and how, like you said, they're kind of forgotten, right?
Yeah. They're not cute and cuddly. Nobody wants to take them in. Nobody wants to support them. Nobody trusts them enough to work them, hire them.
Right. And it's interesting, since I've kind of started down this path. I mean, doors are opening of companies that are willing to do paid internships And so I think that as this vision unfolds, it'll really become a place where companies that have opportunities for young adults to come in and learn a skill set and get trained, have a place to go, an opportunity to connect with these young adults that are really, starving for this type of stuff.
So is this something that come about just because you're just sitting around with a bunch of money and time to burn and you decide, hey, let me just go help the world? Or is this you leaning in to solve a problem?
So interestingly enough, it definitely didn't come because I've got a bunch of money and I'm sitting around. That was my plan, right? My plan was when I learned about this problem 3 or 4 years ago, it kind of stuck in my mind, and it's just kind of been in the back of my mind for several years. And I was always going to do something about the problem when I became that, wealthy, uber successful entrepreneur, when I had the big exit and I had more money than time. Right. And recently, about 6 months ago, I went to an event, and they talked about, what are you doing to, in the area of fulfillment, what are you doing to give back other than writing a check, and as I thought about it, after he kind of gave this talk, I went out on a hike for 3 or 4 hours in Moab, Utah, and I was just kind of out there, and it was like God kind of spoke to me and said, I can't wait for you to become wealthy to be helping these kids. I've raised tons of money for entrepreneurial ventures and started companies and done a lot of things in my career. And that skill set of raising capital and attracting, high net worth individuals is completely applicable to what we're doing here. And so I just decided I was going to start taking action, and I started a foundation, and then I got a few people to help me, and we've created a curriculum and a program. And then as I was thinking about the magnitude of this problem, we're talking a magnitude of $480-500 million a year, just, to really truly solve the problem on a national level. And I had been thinking about creating this golf community, but I was going to limit it to like 100 entrepreneurs, and we were going to, go out and compete against each other, and it was going to be the whole focus of it was around wealth building and investments and all this kind of stuff. And I was sitting there thinking about this problem of and the magnitude of it, and I'm like, if I could just leverage the golf community, we could solve this problem, on a national level. And that kind of led me down this path of really expanding my vision of this golf community to have it be focused on, doing and raising capital for the foundation, but still keeping that competitive, really pressure building, exciting opportunity. Because, with the way that we structure the community, there's going to be big money on the line, either big money for the foundation, or, there's going to be purses that you can accept as what I'm going to call a professional amateur, which is someone that doesn't care whether or not they're declared an amateur or a professional. They're willing to forego playing in the state amateur championship or whatever in order to compete for the prize money, or just following the rules of golf and allowing keeping your amateur status and donating the money, or there's several different ways that you can still compete. And so it's since I made that pivot, doors are opening and people are jumping on board. We've got, a ton of celebrities that are just completely excited about getting behind it. And And we've got our first event coming up in Puerto Rico at Dorado Beach, November 8th.
Very cool. So talk a little bit about the structure, like because what the part of what attracted me when you first started talking about this is it's the opportunity for the golfers. It's opportunity for people who want to contribute. It's opportunity for entrepreneurs to be able to contribute time and talent, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
Absolutely.
where are the places that people can participate?
So the kind of the entry point really is just joining the community. So it'll be a membership type, typical golf club type membership where you have an annual dues and you join the community and essentially connect with us so that you can be invited to these major 3 and 4 day competitive golf events. And then at each one of those events, we'll create like a FedEx Cup style point system, where the winners every year will earn these name, image, and likeness contracts for the next year. So the points though will not just be built around your golf score and how many tournaments you won or placed in, but around all those different components of building this community out, which is introducing others to the community, or helping raising money for the foundation, or holding a friends and family event to expose them to to the needs, to raising your hand and being willing to have one of the kids over for dinner. I say kids, they're really young adults, but when I thought about the challenges that I had in my life, right, I always had, and still to this day have, that support structure of my family behind me. And as I thought about these young adults coming out, they've got no real support structure. They've got nowhere to go. And so I think that we can become that as a community of entrepreneurs that are raising our hands and just saying, one, I'll have these kids over for dinner and get to know them. Two, I'll potentially have internship opportunities, whether that be in sales or accounting or whatever different types of skill sets that that each entrepreneur has a need for help within their company. We can connect these kids. And then part of the program is about mindset, right? We've got to provide the type of business, the type of personal development training that you and I have had throughout the years through, being exposed to, different, gurus, if you will, so that they can understand that their past doesn't dictate their future, and that everything that they can dream of is ahead of them, and provide them the mindset skills to kind of work through the trauma that they've experienced and move forward in a way. And then of course there's the component of the golf tournaments, where once they go through that program, then they'll get invited to these golf tournaments to work the tournaments, and to really be exposed to the network and the community of successful entrepreneurs. And I don't know about you, but one of the greatest decisions I ever made was joining Board of Advisors, where you and I met, and being in that room and connected to all of those people has been an incredible blessing in my life. And so I'm wanting to build that environment in a way that these kids can essentially be exposed to it early, and then learn how to network with entrepreneurs and how to introduce themselves and be professional and set a good impression, so that as they're coming to these golf events and building their network, they pick up the phone and reach out to one of these business owners they will be set up for success to be able to land a job or land an internship.
Does somebody need to be a member of the Golf Society to be able to contribute content, support, education, whatever to the kids that are in need?
So I guess the simple answer is yes, but there's a membership, if you will, specifically for people that either know they suck at golf and don't want to participate in the golf side, but just want to support, right? And so you can be a member of the community as an entrepreneur and contribute all sorts of things.
You can be just like at a country club. You can
right.
be
Like
golf
a social
member, or you can be a social member, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So we have the social membership, and we have, a membership just for those that want to be donors and want to, maybe be on the list of households that these kids could call up for a dinner. I was talking to a friend of ours, Mike Weiss, and telling him about the family dinner program, and he's like, man, this sounds just like the Shabbat houses in Israel. So in Israel, all of the young adults go into the military, and so they have these Shabbat houses all over Israel, where when these kids are out in different parts of the country being deployed, they can just call up one of these Shabbat houses and go over for dinner and hang out and get to know the family. And they're kind of all over the place. So any city that they're in, they know that they've got some place that they can go, for a hot meal and and whatever. So that's the kind of community involvement that I'm looking to build.
So how will if there's a kid listening to this right now, how can he reach out and say, hey, how can I get support? How can I get encouragement from the society?
So, I mean, the easiest way right now is to just reach out to me directly, Corbin21@gmail.com, or Corbin at albatrossgolf.org. So we're literally in the launch phase. So we're going through all of the website design and building for Footprints Forward, which is the name of the foundation, and Albatross Golf Society. So all of that infrastructure is being built literally as we speak.
Great. This is, it's such a needed thing. There's so many different foundations and ways out there for people to support. And so it's just making sure that we can get the message out to the right people who feel like this is the environment they can contribute and participate. And I know as an entrepreneur and who's very cause-based myself and have my own missions that we're driving, I'm always looking for ways that I can contribute. But like I said, besides writing a check, how else can we participate? If we donate content, do you have a central place and a location where entrepreneurs who are listening to this right now can say, hey, I'd love to be able to support. I'm just not a golfer in any way, but I can do something like that. Yeah.
Well, that in essence, we will be kind of a clearinghouse, right? For that kind of stuff. And so as we're building out the website, we will have those components where people can just connect with us, like you said, provide content, provide a mentoring session for the youth, and contribute in any way and aggregate all of that stuff, because that's ultimately what we're trying to do on a big scale is have this kind of central place where we can all communicate and provide different courses and material to give opportunities to the young adults that are aging out.
So what kind of encouragement would you give for somebody who's listening right now and they're leaning in with their heart, but they're like, I can't lean in with my wallet right now. The world's going crazy. I'm paying $8 for eggs. I'm paying $5 a gallon for gas. I don't have anything to give. How would you, what words would you have for people like that right now?
I would say that, that you're already going to be making dinner, right? So if at the very least, you can raise your hand and you can say, hey, I'm willing to invite one of these young adults over for dinner or take them out to dinner, and just get to know them a little bit, give them some words of encouragement, let them know that there are people in the world that care enough to raise their hand and say, I want to have you over for dinner. That's enough, right? Because sometimes sometimes it's something that simple that can completely change the trajectory of somebody's life. And if we build out this network of people, and that's the only thing that we accomplish, we just build this national network of people that are having young adults that are aging out of the system over for dinner and giving them some words of encouragement and support, then we have accomplished something that is monumental. Because ultimately, it was having that support structure for myself that allowed me to become successful as an entrepreneur. I always know, I mean, the running joke, in my family right now to this day, because my family knows the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur that I've gone through and the risks that we take as entrepreneurs. My mom just keeps a little bit of land, on her property for me in case I ever, strike out and lose everything. I can just come and, put up a tent and on that plot of land and I have that, in my back pocket. So I know I'm never going to go without a roof over my head, even if I fail miserably and go bankrupt. And ultimately, if we can provide that for these, they're still kids in my mind, but if these young adults that are stepping out into the world, then that is something that costs next to nothing, but could be ultimately a huge stepping stone for them.
It's funny. I was just spending some time with my grandson this weekend. He's 4 years old, and every time he talks to me, he starts every sentence with, "Hey, Papa. Hey, Papa, watch this. Hey, Papa, do you want some of this? Hey, Papa, give me some mac and cheese. Hey, Papa." And I love it because every time he's addressing me, and it makes me feel like I'm like, oh, this kid loves me,
Right.
And it's like, how many of these kids don't get that every day? They don't have somebody saying, "Hey, Corbin,
right,
really appreciate you. Hey, Corbin, you're going to be something. Hey, Corbin, somebody cares." And I took it, as somebody who is, you're talking to I was one of those guys, you grew up every day wondering who loves you.
Yeah.
That's a horrible feeling. It's a horrible place to be.
Yeah. And, it costs nothing to love somebody.
Amen. Amen. So I know it's all in the forming stages. But we got, well, in the show notes, guys, there's contact info for Corbin, as well as website and information. And by the time this gets out, he'll have more resources and connection points and things going. It's once God gets involved and this thing gets moving, it's going to take, it's taken a life of its own already. And so jump on board. This massive opportunity is being created for, if you're a golfer, if you're an entrepreneur, if you want to have a membership to contribute in ways outside of the golf course, if you just want to be in support of the community and of the network, right? It's just be one of those. You can have a sticker on the window that says, "We support the Albatross Golf Society," and that lets every team know that they're a safe place for them to go, right? That kind of vibe. That's a fantastic culture to be shooting for.
Yep, absolutely. And like you said, God's opening doors. I mean, when you reach out to me, I mean, that there's, no other explanation. So, I appreciate the opportunity to get the word out and appreciate all you're doing for your causes and being willing to step up and help like you have.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to talking more about it and seeing where we can plug in. So you guys make sure you go check out the show notes, get the contact information, just reach out and ask questions, just reach out and find out how can you help, because you'd be stunned at how much how many people who in your network. You're literally 1 degree of connection and separation from somebody who can contribute, even if you can't. So share if this means something to you, if this is making sense, if this feels like, man, this is a great cause, you just don't know how to participate. Great, reach out, ask, have a conversation. plug in so you can stay informed, get on their list and be in the know as things are coming up. Because I can tell you the kind of person that Corbin is and the networks that we're involved in, when stuff starts moving, it moves fast and things happen. So you're going to want to be part of the process, or at least be in the be a spectator in the stands watching this thing go, so you can jump in when you're ready.
Appreciate it, Jim.
Awesome. All right, guys. So that's a wrap for today. Thank you for spending the time here. As we know, you could be spending it any place else. And thanks for trusting us to be part of your success team. I hope you're letting your heart be stirred, and you're challenging all limits and convictions right now and saying, how can I make a difference? If not for this cause, where's the cause that you are making a difference for? Who's the thing that moves you? What's the thing that's near and dear to your heart? And how do you jump in and say, I can make a difference here? And then just jump in and do it. You don't have to have the resources. You just got to have the intention. And when you do, the doors and the resources will show up. Right. We'll see you on the next episode. You guys have a good one. Go make it happen.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Opportunity Makers. Head on over to GainTheEdgeNow.com to connect with Jim and his team. And remember, there's no such thing as limits or obstacles, only opportunities.